The universe will quickly show you a mirror when things are happening that you have to now reflect and say, okay, yeah, I might be good at putting out the fires of others. But what I was not good at was recognizing that I was on fire.
Every time you say that, it resonates.
You know what I'm saying?
Every time.
And that is not good.
Couldn't be more deserving. You got me cloud surfing, cloud surfing, cloud surfing. You got me.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Well, welcome.
Today's topic. What mama couldn't teach. Tell us about love. Hello.
What mama couldn't tell us about love? And why couldn't she?
And why couldn't she tell us about it?
So,
Because mama ain't know.
mama ain't know. Ain't nobody teach mama.
Ain't nobody teach mama. So mama couldn't teach us. So that is what we're talking about today. Everybody wants to know where you got your beanie from, fam.
Ooh, wouldn't you like to know? She like, yeah, that's why I asked.
Right.
You know what? I'm going to at the young lady who makes my hat. She's out of Baltimore. So I will at her because she does an amazing job. And I cannot think of her Instagram page right now. Every hat that I wear that's like this, she's made it. She's the crochet lady. And she's based out of Baltimore. I don't know if she ships yet. I know she's building her business. So I'll keep you posted for real. Yeah.
Cool.
She got good deals. I just put in another order for 2 hats because I need some more colors. Yeah, I know.
Even with all these colors.
I need some solid colors.
More color.
More color. Hey, cutie.
Hey. Hi.
Well, welcome back to
Welcome
LoveHers
back to LoveHers
808 podcast.
Yeah, always good to come together with you all on this beautiful Sunday.
Beautiful Sunday.
Yeah, yeah. Fall is here. It's feeling good outside. It's
It is, you
good
know.
time. Good time
It
to
is.
be
It's
together.
officially fall.
It is, which is my favorite season, by the way.
I do enjoy fall. I do enjoy fall.
Yeah,
I enjoy. I love the summer. I love the spring. And I love the fall. The winter, you know, I can do like 1 or 2 days. Other than that, you know, I like, you know. Stop looking at me all romantic.
What do you mean? Oh my gosh.
All romantic. All you see them little hearts in her eyes.
That's crazy.
Cause she loves me.
Yes, I do. I do love you. Silly.
I love you too. So baby was reading.
Yes. So I
wanna
have
show
been
them?
reading this amazing book by Brenda Lane Richardson and Dr. Brenda Wade, BB. What Mama Couldn't Tell Us About Love. And I'm halfway through the book. So many just insightful, you know, spot on revelations about how our history, our ancestral history, our lineage affects the way that we approach love and love of self and love of others. And so it's a pretty dope book. Definitely pick yourself up a copy. And so from this book today, we're going to be talking about one of the intimacy blocks, the anti-intimacy blocks that the authors mention in this book. So it's pretty deep. It's pretty deep because I know, especially working as a clinician, working as a coach, I work with women primarily, and oftentimes what a point of conflict that comes up is their relationship with their mothers, right? Their relationship with their mothers.
No way.
Very, very good sarcasm. Their relationship with their mothers, and also their love relationships with other people, right? And so this is why I was compelled to pick up this book, because there's definitely a connection between the way we were loved, what we were taught about love, what we observed about love, that affects our ability to not only love ourselves, and to love others, right? And so the beliefs that we pick up are those anti-intimacy beliefs that get in the way of us co-creating the abundant, loving relationships that we all desire and deserve.
Yes.
So that is what we're talking about today.
Deserve it.
We do. And why do we deserve it, baby?
Well, I just want to out you real quick because somebody said
What?
because she's in love.
I am in love. That's cousin Jeanette. I am. And, you know, having worked through some of the beliefs that I've had about love is really the reason why I'm able to experience this love. You know? This love.
With me?
With you. With you. And I'm so thankful for this experience because, and all the experiences I've had, and this book coming to me when it did, and just all the examples and reflections from other women that I work with, other women that I support, because we're different, but we're so much more alike than we are different. And so, yes, I am in love, and I can say that and experience that and be that because of just the work that I've put in and the revelations I've had about who I am, what I deserve, and also other people as well.
Yeah, you deserve it. And so do I.
Yeah. And you know you deserve why you deserve. How you know?
You gonna make that face, though. How you know? Because God told me. How about that?
There you go.
Because God said, right? We all made in the image of God.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
God is love, you know. And each and every one of us deserves love and to be loved, right? So you have to be loved to receive love. You have to be what you want.
Yeah, be what
You
you,
know what
want
I'm
to
saying?
attract. Absolutely.
Be what you want to attract. And little cutie. Let me stop.
This is love, though. This is what I'm talking about.
stay focused.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know-
I asked for this. You know,
Baby got this new nail design, right?
Come on.
Oh, look at these. They so sexy.
Look at this.
They normally not shaped like this, right? They shaped it another way, but she went and got a new design, and I was like, ooh, you sexy. You sexy. Make me want to get mine.
No,
Wash.
she won't be there. Yeah, right. If you want to get a manicure. Or
I
something.
want to get a manicure.
Yes.
But,
you were saying.
What was I saying?
God is love.
God is love.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And we deserve love. And you know what? A lot of times.
And we are love.
We are love.
Yeah.
And we deserve love.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times, you know, we may have subconscious programs, subconscious beliefs that tell us otherwise.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of us as humans here on planet Earth, you know, are under this subconscious programming that we picked up that we are not worthy. You know what I'm saying? That we are not deserving. And these are absolute lies.
Yeah.
You know, falsehoods.
For sure.
And so once you become aware of those programs that are running, then you can correct them.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah.
And I know I had to do my work.
Yeah.
You know, and I know I'm continuing my work because it is a practice.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we ever come to a complete place of just perfection of knowing, like your worthiness and your deservedness. I don't know if that's a word or not.
Yeah,
but
it is.
You know what I'm saying? And so, what I'm learning now is about how everything is like our personal development is it's a practice. You know what I'm saying? And so, like it's like you don't just achieve. It's not like you just you know it one day and then you're just good for the rest of your life.
Right.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Because there's constant things that come up.
Yeah.
That kind of challenge your beliefs.
Absolutely.
Or trigger
Yeah.
a trauma or a program that you may have thought you had healed it and it's done. But I believe more people are coming to the realization that healing is a practice, right? It's not it's not linear.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's, you know, up and down and back and forth, and you know, some days you're feeling greater than others. You know what I'm saying? Some days you vibrate higher than others, and so, you know, we are what we attract.
Yeah.
And so I know for me, I had been doing the work, and you know, just really accepting myself for who I am, embracing myself for who I am, loving myself more than trying to love everyone else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's huge.
And be perfect for everyone else and not for myself. You know what I'm saying? So putting me first, you know.
So good.
And when I started to do those things and started to become more aware and reflect and to meditate more and to do things for myself more, like do things that I've wanted to do but didn't because I didn't want to hurt people's feelings or make people feel left out. You know what I'm saying? And when I started to do those things, my perspective on love changed. And I became more love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And because of that, I vibrated differently than before. You know, less from a place of need and more from a place of deserve. And then I attracted this one.
Me.
This lady. This beautiful Haitian goddess.
Oh, honey, you're making me blush. Jeanette asked, she said, so true. Did you start with books or meditation only? That's a good question.
I don't know. I think it was a combination because so the thing was, I had been meditating, you know what I'm saying? And I've always been a reader. I probably read way more than I did then. So, but I think what it was things were happening in my life that were showing me that I needed to put me first. You know what I'm saying? And so, although I had been meditating and I felt like I had been on a spiritual journey, I don't think that I recognized that I was really like, I was feeling like I was good, right? But the universe will quickly show you a mirror when things are happening that you have to now reflect and say, okay, yeah, I might be good at putting out the fires of others. But what I was not good at was recognizing that I was on fire.
Every time you say that, it resonates.
You know what I'm saying?
Every time.
And that is not good. You know what I'm saying? When it's like you want to fix everything else that's happening. Because, you know, I've always been the type of person that people come to, especially in a relationship that people come to for whatever.
Yeah, it's what you attracted.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I always felt like, oh, I can handle this. Right. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I can do this. I can do this.
I can do that.
I can help with this.
I want to do that.
It's not that bad.
I want to do that.
Yeah, right? But it's like you're trying to do all of this, putting out this fire, and that fire, and that fire. And then you realize, like, you can't do that for other people. You know what I'm saying? Because there will constantly be fires.
Yeah.
So it's never a point where you can put out 10 other fires and there's not going to be 10 more come right after that, right? And that's exhausting.
It is.
But I don't think I even realized.
Yeah.
I think my ego enjoyed that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I felt needed.
Yeah. It kept you in that familiar role.
Right.
It kept you in that familiar savior role.
Where right?
You received a lot of your validation.
Exactly.
From, absolutely, which is rewarding and reinforcing, which is how we end up continuing those cycles until we get to a point where there's more cost associated with it than benefit.
Exactly. Yeah. And the cost was
too
me.
great. It was you.
Yeah.
It was you. Yeah.
And so that was a wake up call.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, your ego, you know, trying to convince you of all these other things, but really when you reflect, because everything that happens to you is a reflection.
Yeah, and an opportunity.
You know, it's an opportunity for growth. So I needed to recognize that this was an opportunity for me to grow. Yeah. When the whole time my ego got me thinking that I was growing. And I was growing in a certain aspect, but not in the way that I needed to. Yeah. You know, not for my evolution. Right. And not for me to attract the love that I really needed and wanted. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Me. So, yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing.
I think it was a combination, but it was more of the shift in my perspective of who really needs the help, which was me.
Ooh, who really needs the help?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was really just a reflection, right? You know?
Yeah. And I think, you know, it's important too to talk about meditation and the two functions it serves sometimes. I think early on, for many people, meditation serves as a coping mechanism, right? In that it helps you deal with life and what's going on, and sometimes even as a way to avoid what's happening. Whereas when we make the shift and start to see meditation as a healing tool, that healing coming from the realization of your higher self, like really being in touch with and embodying that higher version of you. And I think, at least for me, that was the shift for me, because I was using meditation as a tool to cope, right? Instead of realizing that what I was connecting to was that part of me that I had lost touch with. That part of me that is unconditional love. That part of me that loves me wholeheartedly. And when I made that shift, then I started to expect and demand more from my relationships, right? So going through relationships where there was constant conflict, you know, me being with people that were practically, I was allowing to use me. I'll say that because I was a cooperating component to the suffering I endured, right? Allowing people to use me and doing the spiritual things, reading the books and meditating and doing all that, and still having similar experiences, despite having greater awareness, not really putting that awareness into practice, right? And so which is key, because you can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you're not applying action to what you know, then you're not really stepping into and fully using your power, right? And so with the awareness, when I decided to do something about what I was realizing, that's when my life started to change, and that's when I started to realize how worthy I really am. You know, because it's different. There's nothing like realizing that you are intentionally creating the circumstances in your life, whether that's the circumstances you say you don't want or the circumstances you say you do want. There's a power, there's a sense of empowerment that comes from realizing, okay, I noticed this was a problem, I became conscious of it, I changed my behavior, and as a result of changing my behavior, not only did I change, but my whole world changed. And the people that I attracted were different, the experiences I attracted were different. That's when you realize your power and your worthiness, when you realize that you are a co-creator. You are creating this experience along with your higher self. And
absolutely. And becoming aware of the fact that life isn't happening to you, but it's happening for you, right? And I think that, we've all been programmed in a way where we think that, like you just said, oh, well, I learned this about myself and I fixed it, right? So now everything in my life should be good. That's not how it works. I think that's a common misbelief, right? Because I mean, at one point I used to think that as well. And then when I recognized, or I read somewhere or heard somewhere about how life is happening for us, And so every opportunity that comes to us, whether we perceive it as something bad or something good, it's an opportunity for growth. So you may have worked on this thing here and you think that you fixed it, right? But then then you get more aware and you realize there's really nothing to fix, right? You know what I'm saying? It's more of the shifting of the perspective, and then you continuing that practice, because other things will happen on a different level.
Yeah.
That will require you to still practice that thing that you thought you so-called fixed. But you got to realize there's nothing to fix. You are already whole. You are already beautiful. You are already worthy. Indeed. You know what I'm saying? It's a matter of when are you going to recognize that you are these things, regardless of the circumstance.
That's the
regardless of what's going on in your life and what happens in your life. Knowing that is a whole lot different than trying to believe that. You know what I'm saying? And things are constantly going to happen, ebb and flow, because they're supposed to, because that's how beautiful and powerful you are.
Absolutely.
And the universe and source just wants you to grow everlasting. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's ongoing.
Yeah.
You will constantly grow. You will constantly be challenged. There will constantly be contrast.
Yeah.
But stay true to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Hello. Come on. Power to the people. Power to the people.
Stay with the practice.
Stay with the practice.
And move from a place of love.
Of love.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, a place of love. Because that's really what it's all about. It's about the realization of who we really are. And all of these experiences, all of these life experiences are intended for that specific purpose.
Yes.
Right? And so, like you were saying, it's not that you get to a point where, okay, I got it, I'm good, I figured out life. No, you will continue to realize, as you transcend these levels of consciousness, you will continue to realize more and more about yourself that you never realized.
And it's ongoing.
And it's ongoing, which is an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing. And I say this all the time when people say they want to get it perfect. I'm like, don't you love the idea of knowing that you can continue to grow and expand and become greater and greater? Like, isn't that a beautiful concept, right? To know that we are never finished. Yeah. We're never finished. We're always in a place of expansion. The potential for expansion is always there. And it's happening in the smallest, most mundane moments when you decide to not react to someone's behavior and instead you tune into love and express empathy and compassion. You are healing. You are realizing that you are loved, that you are God. I mean, it's happening all day, every day, this expansion. And when you realize that that's what this is all about, you have a greater appreciation for those experiences and a greater appreciation for yourself and the fact that you came here to have these experiences to grow. Yeah.
Because nothing, if you stop growing, then you did. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And nothing in the universe is at rest.
Everything's moving.
Everything is moving. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
Everything is moving. Therefore, you are always moving and you are always growing. And there is no end. It's the never-ending story.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
To know that you are eternal.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that kind of gives you a sense of peace.
Come on.
At least for me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
A sense of peace knowing that.
Yeah.
It was never for you to try to get everything perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But recognizing and knowing that you are perfection.
Yes, you are perfection in practice.
In practice.
Action.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What
That's Jeanette saying, I appreciate you sharing your wisdom. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Indeed. Indeed. It's our pleasure. It really is our pleasure. Yes, perfection in practice.
Perfection in practice, man. We are fractals of God.
Fractals of God.
You know?
God-like particles.
God-like particles. You know? Helping the process of evolution.
Of expansion.
And
That's
expansion.
Huge.
and growth.
It's so big.
It's so big. And what was we reading? Because every morning we meditate together.
Yeah.
Baby has this other book. What's the name of that book?
The 52 codes for self-evolution.
Yeah.
And by Barbara Marx Hubbard.
Cutie. And so we read a code, the same code for a week.
For a week, yeah.
And oh man, the code we just read, code 9.
So good.
What was that? Okay, I'm trying to remember the phrase because I love that phrase at the end where she says, some people may choose
not
to participate in their, what is it, conscious?
In their own evolution.
In their own evolution, right?
Yeah.
So like you have the choice.
Yeah.
Like it's your choice to participate in your own evolution.
Ooh. Yeah.
That's deep, man.
That's so deep.
That's the free will part.
So deep. Yeah.
Right?
That is free will. Yeah.
Right? And so you can choose to participate in your own evolution, or you could just stay where you at and experience that.
Yeah. Well, the suffering that comes along with that.
The suffering that comes along with that.
Yeah, because life is going to
life
do
is
what
gonna
life
go,
does.
you know?
Right. Yeah. Life is going to do what life does. And how do we know we're blocking that natural flow of life force energy? We start to experience dis-ease, right? Dis-ease emotionally, mentally, physically, and even relationally, right? When we start to see we're in constant conflict with the people that we care about, the people that or even strangers, right? When we are, the author, Jeanette, is Barbara Marx Hubbard. That's her name. Yep, she's the author of the 52 Codes of Self-Evolution. Yeah, and so, what was I saying? I lost my train of thought. Choo-choo. Right.
Damn.
Yeah. Participating in your own
evolution.
Yes. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. So it is a choice. And we get to a point where we realize that we have a choice more than we did at one point in time because you're welcome, Jeanette. Your choices are only as available as your perspective and awareness of them, right? And so oftentimes the conflict that we have, I was talking about the dis-ease, right? Dis-ease,
that's where you left off.
Yes, when we're not allowing that natural flow energy, the natural flow of that life force energy. When we experience conflict, whether it's in our body, because when we have dis-ease, that's conflict within our body.
Yeah.
Right? It's conflict within our body because life wants to flow through you. Life wants you to realize that you are God, right? And when we resist that process by buying into beliefs or subconscious programming that doesn't allow us to realize that, that's how we experience this ease in our relationships, in our body, in every aspect of our lives.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's amazing when you realize that you have the choice to participate in your evolution. In fact, that is what conscious evolution is all about. It's being able to recognize that I can have a knee-jerk reaction to do something, but I don't have to follow that knee-jerk reaction. I don't have to do what I've been programmed to do based on what I've experienced, what I believe, what people have told me to be true or false. I don't have to buy into those things, especially if they don't allow me to consciously participate in my evolution. Consciously participate in my growth. And you can feel when you're not. You can feel when you're not because your body will tell you, especially when you become more in tune with your body. Yeah,
absolutely. And I know we've said it previously, but just to reiterate it. Did I say that right?
Just to reiterate.
Yeah. That disease is dis-ease, meaning not at ease. So when your body is not at ease, you will get a disease, right? And so when baby's talking about becoming aware of what's going on with your body and allowing the energy to flow through you, right? And then being able to recognize or become aware of when you are triggered, for one. Because first, everything's really about awareness, right? Because so many people can be triggered and don't even know that they were triggered. They just reacting to everything.
And it's the other person's fault.
And it's everybody else's
fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blame everybody else's fault. But at one point, and that might be the process of where you are in your evolution, is where you may need to go through
that first,
all of those hardships. You know, you may need to get boom, 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 boom. You know how you recognize, and we've all done it. We've got things in our lives that we've constantly done over and over again, expecting different results, right? Insanity, right? But like, that might be the part of where you are in the process, and you have to go through all those smacks and knockdowns for you to finally realize, like, hey, I'm sick of this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I want to do something different, right? So then you're choosing to participate in your evolution, right? Because you recognize that
this ain't working.
This maybe it's not everybody else, right? Because I mean, how long can you possibly? I mean, I can't say that because there's a lot of people that blame people to the day they die.
To the day they
you know
die.
what I'm saying, for where they are in life and what happened and this blah blah blah, which is fine. Maybe that's the lifetime that you needed to experience that, because there is no right or wrong, right? That's why we can't judge. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know where you are in your evolution. You don't know how many lifetimes you done did that same crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the disease and becoming aware.
Making conscious choices. Making conscious choices, because that is essential. We're at a point in our existence where we're no longer able to be ignorant. Right? I mean, we're no longer able to be ignorant because of, first of all, because of what's happening with this ascension, right? And just the way the energy is moving. So, and everything is more pronounced. So you'll see the good being more pronounced, and quote unquote, and also the bad being more pronounced, right? And so as we're witnessing this, all of these experiences in relationships and what we're even witnessing around the world are encouraging our evolution, right? Encouraging this conscious choice to be who and what we are here to be, and also who and be what we want to experience in this world, right? And so what the quote was saying, which another part of the quote, the 52 codes of self-evolution, was that you also have to be prepared to let go of that animal self-conscious, which is part of that decision-making process, right? Hey, Natty Queen.
What's up?
Which is part of that making those conscious choices, right? Because we do have to be willing to let that ego self die. And it's not just one death. As you transcend and you evolve, you experience multiple ego deaths, because the thing that you thought was true before, you realize was just a fact and not actually truth. There's a difference, right? And so all of that is part of your evolution. And how beautiful to consciously participate in that and realize, again, how powerful you actually are, and how everything is always working out for you to come to this very significant realization that you are eternal, you are divine, you are God, you are all of these things, right? That we sometimes don't know because of some of the beliefs that we have held. Yeah.
And I love how when you become aware of how, like you were just talking about, the death of the ego, right? Because like when you first become, aware of the trending that's going on with the ego death, right? Which I think is great, because it's great that we're talking about it and people are sharing the information. And what we also want to do when people share some of these spiritual conscious type things is to don't just take it and run with it as if that is the final be all, right? It's like, don't fall for how the ego will make you think
you got it,
that you got it. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because if we're infinite beings and we're constantly evolving, right? What you evolve to today, right, is not going to be the end all be all for tomorrow or 10 years from now, right?
Right.
Like, you know how, like, they say, like, the older you get, It's like every time you turn another age, or when you enter into like when you're in the 20s and then you turn 29, and you're like, dang, I was so stupid when I was 21. Like I was, oh my God, I can't believe. Then you turn 30, then you get in your 30s, right? You're 35, and you're like, dang, I was dumb when I was 30. Oh, you in your early 30s, you don't know
You got
nothing.
lots to learn.
You know what I'm saying? It does that every time you enter into a new age. 40s, 50s, 60s. Like, it don't go away if you are consciously participating in your evolution. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they say, a wise man knows he knows nothing at all.
Socrates, you took that right out of my head.
For real.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, Socrates got that from our ancestors.
I know. Right? And they always taking stuff. Yeah.
But that's because he studied at the feet of the Egyptians in the Egyptian mystery system. So, you know, I mean, these wisdoms that we had way back then, they're still in our DNA. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And and because of the rise and fall of evolution of humans, you know, some of that stuff got buried and suppressed. Yeah. And now it's coming back out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Thankfully. You know, but we also have to recognize and be aware of the fact that, you know, at one point in time, our history, we were quite advanced. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We were using sound vibrations to shape the pyramids. And all these things and frequencies and being able to levitate and telekinesis and all these things. These things have not stopped. Our perspective upon them has and it's been blocked, right? Yeah, yeah. And so never
realize those
things. Yeah, exactly. And to know how powerful we really are, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's just a constant evolution, right? So being able to be aware of the fact that we do not know everything, and we will never know everything until you transition and you're back with source. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And when you come back, you forget some of that.
Yeah, because we're on planet Earth, one of the lowest vibrational planets that we know of, right? And so when we come here to planet Earth, it's a low vibration, it's a low frequency. We can't remember all. We have this veil of amnesia, but that's part of the fun.
That's part of the fun.
You know?
The rediscovery.
Of rediscovering.
And remembering, And
the remembering. Remember. Return to the member. You know what I'm saying? Because you are a member. I'm a member. You're a member. And all of us together
have several members. And we bring our members together. It's just a lot of members.
Members only! Brings new meaning to the members only jacket.
It does.
What they saying? Hey, beautiful soul! Hey. What's up?
So what did we share what the anti-intimacy belief is?
Not yet.
Okay, not yet. So let's share it.
Yeah, what mama couldn't tell us about love?
Mama could not tell us about love. So, here's one thing that we learned about intimacy because of what mama couldn't tell us about love. I have to control everyone and everything around me to protect myself from being hurt again.
Can you please say that again?
I have to control everyone and everything around me to protect myself from being hurt again.
Wow. So many of us do that.
So
I have done this. And it's a practice to not do it.
It is a practice. It is a practice.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting because even within our relationship, the knee-jerk reaction to control comes up, right? Because one thing about experiencing true intimacy, it brings up all of your fears. Yeah. It brings up all of your fears. Your fear of abandonment, your fear of rejection, your fear of not being good enough. So this whole notion that fear of judgment that people have about getting into these honeymoon relationships where they don't have no problems or whatever the case may be. True intimacy brings up all of that stuff, which is why it's such a beautiful thing.
And it's a reflection. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like we've been sold this dream of how we're gonna find this perfect mate and everything is gonna be perfect. We're not gonna have no arguments, no conflict. If you're not having no arguments and no conflict, no contrast, then you ain't growing.
You ain't growing.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't even and what some people would say is that that you actually might not even have love like you think you do with that person, because when you do, when you really are open and vulnerable with your intimacy,
when you
in it, there will be. You have to be aware, for one, aware of what's happening in the relationship, aware of your own shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's never about the other person, for real. It's what you attracted. It's what you needed at that time.
Yeah, and what your interpretations are.
So if nothing is coming up for you, are you awake?
Yeah, probably not.
Are you aware? Like, do you care? You know what I'm saying? Because you might not.
If you're just going through the motions, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, right. And so that's some deeper work that would need to be done. But I mean, you know, you're gonna attract what you are, and then, like we said, you're gonna constantly evolve, and so there will be contrast. You know what I'm saying? And how you respond to it. What your awareness is. How do you take accountability? Right. And that's one of the key things.
How do you grow? Nappy Queen, I was just saying that last night to Chanel about marrying each other and bringing things to absolutely.
Oh yeah,
come on. That's when you know that's some real work.
That's the work.
That's the work.
Tell them, baby.
It is the work.
That's the work.
It's the work, and it's the work that really shows you. You know, it's the magic. It's the magic that the expansion that comes from the evolutionary tension, the creative friction, right? Because all of the conflict is an opportunity for not only for you and your mate to get closer, but for you to get closer to you. Right? For you to get closer to you. Because when you know that the universe has your back and ancestors have your back, you know you are eternal. When you come to that realization, there is no fear. Nina Simone says, freedom is no fear. And when you're able to love without attachment, when you're able to love without the fear of loss, right? That's when you know that you've come to fully love and honor yourself. Not that you don't love the other person, right? Because I'm thinking about Thich Nhat Hanh and his quote about love. You must love someone so they feel free. That is when you know that you know who you really are. Right? And that's the work that great relationships give us the opportunity to do. And by great, again, we don't mean no issues, no conflict, perfect relationship where two people realize their work and their worth, right? And they're actively participating in their own evolution. Absolutely.
God dang.
Absolutely.
And it's a great feeling to be with someone who is practicing their own evolution.
Come on!
Right?
Participate, yes!
We are participating in their own evolution, because if you're participating in your evolution and your partner is not, then it's not equally yoked. Right? Because what's going to happen is the person who is aware is going to, 9 times out of 10, try to help the other person in their evolution. And then when you do that, the moment you take the eyes, the third eye off of you, which is a fractal of God, and now you're putting that energy into someone else, now what happens to you? Now you're left out there in the rain. You know what I'm saying?
And it's really another form of control.
It's a form of control.
It's a form of control.
It's a form of control, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, thinking that you even have that control, that you can even, thinking that you can
force someone
to grow. But the whole time is you need to look at that as the reflection. You're the one that needs to grow. And that might mean you need to go. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Because you're tricking yourself. It's an illusion. And I've been there. I done did that. You know what I'm saying? Everything that happens to you in a relationship is only going to be for your growth. And sometimes so-called bad things will consistently happen because it's trying to get you to wake up and choose you first.
Yeah, and stop trying to control things that are not in your control.
It's not, you don't have no control.
Yeah.
You know when I first realized that? With my daughter. With children.
Yeah.
Raising kids.
Oh, they teach you. They teach you how much you
You
really
don't
have
have, you be
control.
thinking you got control. You really don't have control. Think about it. What if your child 6 years old, you done told them to do something, they just like, hell no. You know what I'm saying? And you might be ready to, you know, do some of them programs where I'm gonna whoop your tail and I'm gonna block you in your room. But what if they keep doing the same thing over? How many times you gonna whoop their tail?
Right.
Lock them in their room, take their phone. How many times can you possibly do that if they just don't
want to do it?
To do it? You know what I'm saying? But you think you can control when you try to control that child? All you doing is creating a rebel.
Yeah.
They're gonna run away.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're gonna go to somebody else to get the love or whatever that is. Like you think you got control, you don't have no control.
Yeah. Or they do the opposite and become completely depressed, anxious because they haven't learned how to make their own decisions, to trust their own intuition, develop that relationship with themselves. I mean, it backfires either way.
It backfires
either way.
Because you can't control someone else.
Yeah, yeah.
And we can barely control our own thoughts.
Yeah.
So what makes you think you can control somebody else's thoughts?
Yeah. And again, it's just about fear, right? Whenever you find yourself trying to control something or someone, you have to ask yourself, what am I afraid of? What am I afraid of? Right? Because it always comes back to us.
Yeah.
It's not about the other person, what they're doing, what they're not doing. It's about the fears that we have that cause us to want to try to control situations, circumstances, and people and their behaviors.
Yeah, what they talking about over here?
Right? Happy Queen says, yes, I love this. Relationships help us know and understand. Absolutely. Actively working on this. For sure. It's a must. We say this all the time. Relationships give our souls the greatest opportunity to grow.
Absolutely.
The greatest opportunity to grow. And that's just not our intimate relationships. We're talking about relationships that we have with people every day. How you speak to the cashier, how you speak to the waitress. I mean, all of our interactions give us an opportunity to be loved, to realize that we are loved, right?
Yeah, and everybody
it's a beautiful
deserves
thing.
it.
And everybody deserves it. Absolutely.
Yeah. And when you feel you don't, then you become what you think, and then you attract that.
Yeah, and you attract.
You know what I'm saying?
Then
and then like being able to really like own your shit, to look in the mirror and see and say, how did I attract this?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To have that level of awareness.
Yeah. And to love that part of you too.
Yeah.
Own it and love it.
Love it. It's
Yeah.
not a bad thing.
No, absolutely
It's not.
Absolutely not.
It's not a bad thing.
Absolutely not. And it's what it really is we have the opportunity to heal our past, right? When we think about fourth dimensional reality, right? What that is the past, present, and the future happening all at the same time, right? And when I say we have the opportunity to heal our past, the things that come up for us, the beliefs that we have, the trauma that's stored within our DNA, in this time, in this present moment in our lives, we have the opportunity to heal all of that by changing our perspective on it. And that comes by way of being conscious of and intentional about our own evolution, and in changing our past by being present and aware of who we are and what we're being called to become, then we are also participating, co-creating the future, right? Past, present, future, all at once. So when we think about what Mama couldn't teach us about love, tell us about love, at that time, those things, the things that we're here now having the opportunity to learn, were not accessible.
Yeah.
They were not accessible because of what was going on energetically and evolutionarily. However, we have the time, we have the opportunity to change those things and to make sure that the future generation, right, our legacy does not continue on doing those things or believing those things that keep us away from experiencing love and realizing we are love.
Yeah. And this is the time.
Yeah,
right?
this is the time for that.
Did you want to can I read the next line that it has?
Yeah.
For the control thing. So
show
us someone controlling, and you'll see someone who has been hurt and who is frightened of being hurt again. With all the emotional pain our ancestors endured, it should not be surprising that many of us have learned to be controlling.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
It's all from fear.
Yeah.
Fear and pain. Yeah.
I don't know did you want to read anything else from that section there, but
no, I think we covered it.
Yeah.
I think we covered it for sure.
Yeah.
The ways in which we try to exert control over other people.
Yeah. You know.
All right. So that's a lot for today. And please pick up the book, What Mama Couldn't Teach Us About Love. I'm telling you, life changing. Any final words, my dear, before we sign off?
Final words. We love you.
Love you guys.
Thank y'all for joining us.
Yes.
And we'll see y'all again next Sunday.
All right. Take
Peace.
care. Peace.
We out.
I don't wanna come down. I don't wanna come.
So just chill to the next episode.